This is 3 News Daily.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to 3 News Daily on this Thursday, April 6th. I'm Stephanie Haney here with what you need to know from around Northeast Ohio. And we start today with developing news out of Solon. This afternoon, a Solon police officer tried to pull over a vehicle thought to be used in an aggravated robbery 2 days ago. The vehicle took off through a neighborhood and the driver eventually crashed the car. Police say the suspect had a gun and that shots were fired. They do say, though, no one was hurt and the suspect was arrested. We'll continue to gather more details and bring those to you when we have them. Now in Cuyahoga County, a woman and her boyfriend have been charged in the shooting death of her son, just a young boy. 28-year-old Chartika Mock and 28-year-old Brian Irby are charged with involuntary manslaughter. First responders rushed to a home on West 30th Street after getting a call that 7-year-old Demetrius Dunlap found a gun and shot himself. He was taken to Metro Health where he later died. Demetrius' death was ruled an accident, but the county prosecutor says it could have been prevented. Now, the U.S. Marshals Service of Northern Ohio now has a suspected violent fugitive in custody. Aaron Parson is accused of aggravated robbery with a gun. According to a release from the Marshals Service, Parsons allegedly stole a vehicle with the victim still inside and drove to a set of railroad tracks. That's where officials say he left the victim to die. And according to the victim, Parsons said, quote, "If the cold doesn't kill you, a train will." The victim was able to escape to safety, and Parsons surrendered to police yesterday. And today we are continuing to put the pieces together as to the scary situation at West Geauga High School this week. Police told us yesterday that 18-year-old Brandon Morissette had a plan to shoot multiple students at the school. On Monday morning, a student found a bullet in a bathroom, and the school administrators took a look at it. And after a conversation with Morissette, they searched his backpack and found a handgun and 3 fully loaded magazines. He was also found carrying a lock blade style knife. Morissette now faces a number of charges, including attempted aggravated murder. Now, in related news, the Surgeon General of the United States was in town yesterday for a major discussion on youth mental health. He's calling it a crisis in our country. Our Bree Buckley explains what Cleveland is doing to address this issue.
We have a youth mental health crisis in our country. There's no question about that.
U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy making a stop in Cleveland Wednesday, discussing youth mental health as new CDC data released in February shows that 1 in 3 teenage girls have considered taking their own life.
And what we've got to do as a country is expand access to care. We've got to talk more about mental health to eradicate the shame and stigma that still surrounds it so that people don't feel ashamed to ask for help.
Murthy and Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb meeting with CMSD students and community leaders. Kids telling them the pandemic had a big impact on their mental health, saying the transition back to in-person learning, combined with pressures at school and home, pile on, as some face financial instability as well.
For a lot of the young people we talked to today, they started high school on Zoom. And a lot of the emotional maturity you would develop as a high school freshman, they couldn't do that. They were isolated in their homes.
The leader saying gun violence is also a major issue, causing ripple effects.
It's critical that we recognize that gun violence is now the #1 cause of death among children. And this is staggering.
As some parents are afraid to send their kids to school, Murthy says the bipartisan Safer Communities Act will help keep kids safer in schools by expanding mental health services. But as we see more school shootings, like the one in Nashville last week and an attempted one at West Geauga High School on Monday, many are still calling for more to be done to protect their children.
The truth is our children are dying and because of gun violence, and even those who are surviving are being traumatized.
Now in Cleveland, Mayor Bibb says the city will use American Rescue Plan dollars to increase mental health support in CMSD schools. Also here in Northeast Ohio, new video shows a police chase involving a stolen Lexus in Seven Hills. Look at that car weaving through traffic. This happened Tuesday morning when an officer saw a gold Lexus driving without visible plates. When police tried to pull the car over, the driver took off, eventually crashing into another car. 3 people got out and were told at least 1 suspect has been arrested. We turn now to Springfield Township, where the community, family, friends, and law enforcement are saying goodbye to Officer Tim Unwin. He, along with resident William Dunson, died in a crash last week and will be laid to rest today. Officials say Unwin was driving his cruiser to help another officer when he collided with Dunson's car. Both men were well-known and well-loved members of the Cincinnati community. We're certainly thinking of their families during this time. Now, Ohio lawmakers at the Capitol level are now calling on Norfolk Southern to pay for the damage caused by October's train derailment in Sandusky. U.S. Senators J.D. Vance and Sherrod Brown and U.S. Representative Marcy Kaptur sent a letter to Norfolk Southern CEO demanding the company pay for repairs after 10 cars went off the tracks. The company reportedly agreed to repay the city and construction company, but officials say so far they haven't seen the money. Now, in just a few minutes today in Akron, a groundbreaking ceremony will be held for the Lock 3 Park. The Ohio and Erie Canal Way Coalition, along with the city of Akron, are celebrating the project. This will be a year-round park for residents, friends, hikers, and everyone else who wants to enjoy a public space where they can get out and have some fun in the city of Akron. That celebration today was at 2 o'clock on Main Street. All right, check this out. We're just 1 month out from the Cedar Point opening day, so the park just dropped a sneak peek at the brand new Wild Mouse roller coaster. It'll be Cedar Point's 18th roller coaster and the latest addition to the all-new Boardwalk experience. It's 52 feet tall, and there are 6 mouse-themed cars and 1 cheese-themed car. Also new this season, the Matterhorn and the Scrambler will move to the Boardwalk, and there will be another new spinny ride, the Tiki Twirl. I don't know about you, but I gotta stay away from the spinny ones. All right, now we got to take you to Avon Lake for very exciting news. Just 24 hours after the first eaglet hatched at Redwood Elementary School, baby number 2 hatched this morning. The eagle parents, Stars and Stripes, said hello to this new little birdie at 6:59 a.m. So here's a live look now at the nest. We got the eagle poking around there. You can see, if you look closely, the bird is eating. And they're having a little bit of a rest. A little bit hard to see if there are any more eggs in the nest at this point, but you can take a look for yourself. We have a link to the live webcam up on WKYC.com. They got their own reality TV show. Okay, you may be familiar with our Ready Pet Go segment, and if you're a dog owner, you know the saying, dog training is 24/7. Either you're training your dog or your dog is training you. Well, I have plenty of experience with that. With my puppy, Oscar Wilde McCool, who just turned 1 on March 31st, my little March baby. Listen, Oscar's behavior has left a lot to be desired, so I needed a little bit of help. I turned to Shaker Hound Academy for some of that much-needed help. Take a look at where we're starting.
For a lot of us, getting a puppy can be the best thing to ever happen to us. But if I'm being honest, sometimes they can be the absolute worst. Case in point, meet Mr. Oscar Wilde McCool. Oscar the Wild Man if you follow him on Instagram. And even for all of his adorable fluff and sweet puppy kisses, boy has he been living up to the wild part of his name.
We are here for what I am calling Operation Oscar.
I've met Oscar. Oscar's your typical teenage pup with some good behaviors and some, we would say, undesired behaviors. We're here to work on both of those.
That's dog trainer Chris Ramsey.
Oscar, go ahead.
The owner of the Shaker Hound Academy in Shaker Heights, who promises me that Oscar is, in fact, trainable, and more importantly, so am I.
And this is different than how they used to train in the 70s and 80s. It was like, you're gonna follow my commands, I'm gonna tell you what to do every second of the day, and if you don't, you're gonna get in trouble.
Chris uses a modern training style called training between the ears that focuses on rewarding good behavior instead of punishing your pup for things you don't want them to do.
So, it takes some time, it's worth it. The more time you put up front, the less work you have to do later. When he starts making decisions on our own, this is what we want.
That's kind of hard to wrap my mind around because at 1-year-old now, Oscar's decisions up to this point have included climbing on coffee tables, jumping on countertops, eating wallets, toilet paper, socks, and shoes, jumping up on everyone who comes through the front door, and dragging me down the street while trying to chase every car that passes us by on our walks. You could say he's excited about life, and it shows.
I would say excitability is a problem for most dogs, and it's nice that Oscar's excitability is driven by, you could say, optimism. So when their excitability is driven by anger or pessimism, those are more serious cases.
Oscar, the optimist, also has 2 cats living with him at home who don't exactly appreciate his big personality, especially when he wants to chase them across the room.
McDuff, not a fan. Finn, quietly tolerant.
Tolerates, okay.
Yeah.
Tolerates good. So the more that Oscar can kind of relax and behave properly, the cats will pick up on that body language. If the cats come in the room and Oscar just looks at the cats and he just does this, the cats won't do that. So if we work on his behavior, it'll change the cat's behavior and everybody wins. Yes. Good.
We love the sound of that, but we know we need a little extra help with all of this right now, so that's why Oscar is about to embark on a 2-week doggy boot camp with Chris to give all of us the jump start we need.
Once we deal with his excitement piece and we get him kind of relaxed and a little bit focused, not like a robot, but just like behaving good, we can ask him to do whatever we want. If we don't take care of the emotional piece first, we can't ask for that physical piece.
Can we get the excitement piece under control? Will we ever make it to the physical piece? Chris seems to think so, but only time will tell. Either way, stay tuned for the results in part 2 of Operation Oscar.
Okay, Oscar. Be good, buddy. I love you. I know. You're so excited. You're so excited. Okay.
This is Stephanie Haney, hanging on to Oscar's leash by a thread for 3 News.
Oh, that sweet little puppy. Yeah, if I've got a list going of all of the casualties of Oscar Wilde McCool, like 5 pairs of shoes, countless rolls of toilet paper, he is a literal goat. If it is paper, he has been eating it. 2 wallets. Mike Polk, you are a saint. I'm so sorry. Anyway, you can learn more about Shaker Hound Academy and training between the ears in our Ready Pet Go section on WKYC.com. We've got part 2 where we see the aftermath of the training coming up. We'll have that next week. All right, before we go, here's your reminder, Cleveland. We are just 1 day away from the Guardians home opener. They'll be taking on the Mariners tomorrow at Progressive Field. Our coverage from the ballpark starts at 4:30 a.m. with Go live in the stadium. Our opening day special starts up again at 1 p.m. with the first pitch at 4:10 p.m. And speaking of the Guardians, by the way, for nearly 50 years, John Adams and his drum were synonymous with professional baseball here in Cleveland. This season, things won't be quite the same over at Progressive Field. Our Neil Fisher explains how the team will honor their late, great favorite fan during tomorrow's home opener.
John Adams attended nearly 4,000 baseball games since 1973, and they were always recognizable.
He was known for being our drummer.
Adams, not only a legend here in Northeast Ohio, but across baseball. On Monday, during the Guardians and Athletics series opener, there was a tribute to Adams.
I think people knew about the drummer in Cleveland, but for them to recognize that he did pass away and to provide that tribute was pretty cool.
The Athletics fans are known as the Oakland 68s. The diehard fans sit in left and right field in Oakland. They tell me they wanted to honor John from fellow drummers, telling me, quote, "We will always remember John Adams as much as we remember baseball legends of the past," end quote. The tribute made its way back to Cleveland and the Guardians organization.
Very special for fans outside our market to recognize the impact John made in our market, but beyond in just the game of baseball. I know John has a smile knowing that the Oakland fans were giving him tribute.
The Guardians will honor Adams on opening day. Coaches and players will have a patch on their jersey in memory of the Cleveland baseball icon.
John always talked about the seat bangers, and he wanted to replicate that sound and get people going to bang the seats, and so that was the whole reason why the bass drum came to the ballpark.
So, a tip of the cap to the Oakland 68s as we honor John Adams.
The Guardians will also wear the honorary patch on August 24th for the 50th anniversary of John Adams bringing his drum to the stadium. Reporting in the studio, Neil Fisher, 3 News.
Certainly a beautiful tribute that they'll have for John Adams, and he will be greatly missed. Thanks for watching 3 News Daily. We will be back on Monday, but stay tuned right here on 3 to catch our live coverage of the Guardians showdown with the Mariners. Everybody enjoy your day, and we're going to leave you with a last look here at those Eagles doing their thing in Avon Lake. A few minutes ago, we saw them feeding those babies, so keep an eye on this. It's on WKYC.com. You'll see something cool. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back on Monday.